Alright, you wonderful boys and girls, here it's back with another King Jivy Code stream. We're gonna be going into a few different things today. We got some stuff here, some stuff there. I got an interesting breakdown for you all. I want to go into some spawn, like some spawn lore tonight. I want to go, I want to do kind of a spawn, cowboy spawn.
What's up, my brothers and my...
I want to do like a cowboy gunslinger spawn. I want to do a death battle with spawn. Wherever the death battle is. No, I don't want that big battle. I want the death battle. Yeah, now we're talking. Open a new tab. Yeah, dude. What the fuck? No, why would I just want... Alright, so now we got that queued up. So we got spawn queued up. But first things first. The first thing I'm going to get into is your effing disgusting by Sensitive to Society. Now, this has to do with old Jean tits here. I'm Denims. I don't like Denims. I don't enjoy her content. I think she brings absolutely nothing to the table. She sits there blinking like a fish swimming around in a bowl. She's like the goldfish of Twitch thoughts. And anything Hassan says, she echoes. She's nothing more than that. I mean, you think about like awful people. She reminds me of Candace Owens. She is the left-wing Candace Owens. I don't like Candace Owens either. I think she's an absolute clown. But they do have something in common. They both really don't like the Jews. So they got that going for them. They're both attractive. I'll give them that. They're both very attractive, but I would not want to have any sort of conversation with either of them. But we're going to get into this. I have no idea what's going on here. I love Sensitive Society. I think he brings some fun into the world, so let's get right into it.
Because he needs to interview our kids as a matter of procedure.
But I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old.
Is this
Okay, that's not true at all, dude. I have memories from when I was 5. I have memories from when I was 3, dude. My first memories that I can think of was I was visiting my aunt, and I had this really cool card that had like, it was like from Rage or something, the white gorilla from Rage, or it might have been the other one. There was another one with monsters fighting that was a little more grotesque than Rage, and it was that game. And I had a card from it and an actual action figure from it. And I remember thinking it was the coolest toy I'd ever gotten, and I was almost 4. I was still 3 though.
retarded?
Now, normally when I talk about certain stuff here on the channel, sometimes it's a little silly, sometimes we have a conversation. It's one of those times where stuff on the internet is getting way too real, and the insane, unhinged, terminally online losers, they all gotta be kidnapped from...
Alright, I gotta be real though. W gameplay for this video, dude. Halo Infinite goes hard. I don't care what all you weirdos out there who hate Halo Infinite have to say. You 343 haters. I want you to know that 343's Halo Infinite is a great game, and it is like the perfect balance of everything Halo, from like the Bungie era through the 343 era. It is the perfect combination of everything, and I love it.
From their homes one by one, and then throw them in the gas chamber 1940 style, because these people need to be stopped. Now, for a little context, over the last few months, Ethan and Hila from the H3 podcast have been constantly harassed by Twitter users, insane Twitch streamers such as Hassan, Denims, and some random weird looking guy who goes by Bad Empanada. And not only that, but there's also a subreddit dedicated to just hating on Ethan and his family. If you have a problem with Ethan and Hila, that's fine. Leave it at that. Don't bring their children into this. And the reason why I'm saying this is because
this is absolutely true. You should never bring somebody's kids into into an internet drama. I'm sorry, you can hate somebody to like the nth degree, but leave their children out of it. Just because you have a different take than them doesn't mean they are this ultimate enemy that you have to ruin their entire life. I hate this mentality. I look at like these people like, I don't like Denims, I don't like Hassan, I don't like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, but that doesn't mean that I'm calling CPS on their kids, and that's what I think is happening here with Ethan.
because yesterday they made a podcast. They went live and they talked about child protective services being called on them. CPS is what you call when you think a child is being abused, child abuse, and neglect. Ethan nor Hila abused their kids in any way, shape, or form. This is an insane stalker, and there's a few theories. Some people are saying that it's Denims. We have some interesting details regarding her. And on top of everything, you're just wasting the resource that is CPS by having people check on him and call and investigate him and all of that, when all of this could actually go towards a child legitimately being abused. I think it's hilarious to call CPS on Ethan and Hila. Why? Because we don't like them. I don't like their political views. I don't like their content. So I don't know. Let's just call.
Well, here's the thing too. I don't like doxing. I think doxing is incredibly gross. Anytime somebody does it. On top of that, like, this type of stuff, this type of internet zealotism is the most disgusting. If you are a part of one of these fan bases where you're like, yeah, you get them, you are the problem. You are brainwashed. You're in a cult and you're a disgusting idiot. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. And you might say, oh, that's pretty vicious, Jeffrey. That's a pretty poop taco take. I don't really give a shit. If you're out here celebrating the downfall of somebody to the point that you are celebrating people falsely calling CPS on their kids, you are a horrible person. I'm sorry, dude. There's no other way to say it. This is actually disgusting. It's gross. It's fucking gross. Like, this is just stuff that shouldn't happen. This is stuff that shouldn't happen, and I think that they should be able to prosecute. I think that this is one problem, and I'm 100% for anonymity online, but I think that if you do something like this, make a false claim, I think they should be able to run their IP back to you. This should be able to take legal matters into the hands. This is gross.
That's what I do. I don't criticize them. I don't call them out. I don't ignore. I want your kids to be taken away from you, and I want to traumatize your kids. You people are insane and need to go to Home Depot, grab 2 things, grab a ladder, grab a rope.
This morning, listen, in our long career of being influencers in the public sphere, we've been swatted several times.
Yep.
People say, hey,
That's gross.
I killed my wife and kids, and I'm in the closet, and I'm gonna kill myself.
And I put bombs around the house.
It's usually something like that, and then the helicopters come, fire trucks come, police come.
It's
I
gross.
remember it happened where they went around the perimeter of our house, and Shredder got out. It was so scary. That part was so scary. We weren't there at the time. We've also had the FBI come to our house, actually, at this point, several times. One of them being to tell us not to open any packages until
further notice.
And I could never in a million years understand how you could hate someone online so much to the point where you go out of your way. You're wasting your precious time here on Earth doxing a YouTuber. Think about that for a second. You're doxing a YouTuber because he said something you don't like. I absolutely hate when internet stuff comes out into the real world. It is not that serious.
Yeah, dude, this is never that serious. It is never that serious that, oh, well, he has a different political take than me, so I'm gonna attack him and I'm gonna send SWAT to his house under the pretense that he has somebody hostage, or there's bombs under his house or something. That's disgusting, dude. It's absolutely foul. There's no excuse for it. If you have ever been a part of that, I want to make this statement real clear. You are an absolute garbage individual, and you should probably be in jail. I'm sorry. There is no other way. This is gross behavior. This is such gross behavior. And this is what happens when you get zealotized into a weird, parasocial cabal where you think that you have to protect you have to valiantly protect your favorite streamer to the point that you become an absolute nutjob. You need help, bro. You need help. You're a fucking piece of shit gooner.
If I have a problem with someone online, we'll talk about it online. You can make your video on me, I'll make my video on you. We could go back and forth, but I will never bring that into the real world.
This morning we got a visit from Child Protective Services. Because I told this story on the show a few weeks ago about how when we adopted Olive, she had Giardia, and then the next day, Sonny started having diarrhea, so we suspected he might have giardia. Seeing as that he's an infant, he's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, etc. Makes sense, right? It's obvious. So it turned into this whole snark narrative that our house is a mess, that there's dog shit everywhere, that Sonny is eating shit and getting giardia, and that, you know, etc., etc. And well, it culminated in somebody finally, an anonymous call went into them on the 3rd, saying that they were somebody that works at the house, and they wanted to report us because our kids are crawling around eating dog shit and getting viruses. And they were able to provide enough details because of what I said on the show to make it appear that it was somebody. He said, like, when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that you know who made the report. Good, go ahead.
What's truly, like, despicable to me is the fact that, like, you hear so often that CPS, like, that they're not always.
They're underfunded.
I am going to say something real quick, and this is going to be kind of mean to where do you think line, and I get that he has, I think it's Tourette's, so that's why he does the twitches and the sniffs, and then the more serious and the more built up he gets about this shit, like the more anxiety he has, the more he does it, but mad distracting when you're talking about serious shit.
Yes, and also it always, like, seeps through the cracks for some reason.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they were so on it here, it's like that could have gone to a family that really needed it and a child that really needed to be saved. Like,
I was pretty surprised. I mean, one anonymous call. I was like, that's all it takes. But I guess the thing is, he was like, we thought it was someone who.
I can't
who
imagine
you
how
know.
scary.
The guy was very nice. He was a very professional, a nice young guy, very nice. And we talked for a while. He gets it, but there's certain things that I guess he has to do. So he looked.
Yeah, this is like anytime you deal with this type of stuff, you don't like what you don't realize is like ha ha ha. Dude, imagine how funny this will be because we've literally lied ourselves into believing that they're terrible parents, and now we're gonna call CPS on them, or even if they did it as like a joke, like haha, look, we'll get them. There is so much that goes into this. There is so many resources and so many steps that have to be taken in order like for this to just be cleared and checked. That you're one, wasting government resources, two, like you're just wasting the time and putting these kids through something they should never have to go through. And the fact that this is even a thing, all because this guy had the audacity to call out Hassan and these other people. And you might say, oh, well, how do we know that it's Hassan's group? Come on. Are we gonna be serious? Are we gonna play? We're gonna play games here. Oh, look at this. We're playing with each other's genitals. This is so fun. Oh, circle jerk. No, dude, it's definitely that group. It's always that group. The most awful interactions I've had on the internet is anytime I make a video about Hassan. Those people show up out of the woodworks and just are so angry. I mean, I've gotten to where I've criticized right-wing people and they get pretty bad too, but not as bad as the Hassan fans. The Hassan fans are just zealots. Same thing when I've covered denims. These people are fucking nut jobs that follow these guys because, and I get it. I'm covering an extremist who, an extremist like gets an extremism following. It makes sense. These people are not sane, but this is like the biggest problem is like you have created this insane fan base. And I think right now they're trying to play that Ethan's so bad because this is a bad look for Hassan. You have a left-wing guy that you used to have a podcast with making you look like a complete dipshit online. And now you're going on Theo Vaughn's podcast. You're doing all these podcasts to try to rebuild this reputation. That's what he's doing. He's doing the Andrew Tate podcast run right now, the Mr. Beast podcast run right now to just kind of get his image refixed because the content nuke worked. Sorry, I don't care what you guys say. It fucking worked. People are looking at Hassan as a weirdo, and now his fan base is getting fucking pissed about it. And they're doing absolutely disgusting, heinous things. And Hassan needs to, he might have. I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm not going to be disingenuous. I don't know. But him and Denims and all these guys need to come out and say, you should never do this. But we'll wait. We'll see. If they do it, let me know. I will. I mean, I hope they do. I hope they do.
So, I mean, you walked around with him. I was upset about the whole thing.
It's like the girl said, CPS is extremely, and I mean extremely underfunded. It's one of those programs that you would think the government would want to focus on, but no, they want to focus on retarded ass shit. This could have gone to an actual kid that needs the help, that's being abused every single day or every once in a while. This could have gone to someone that actually needed it. And it's like, I don't have kids, but I was a kid once. You want to touch everything, you want to put everything in your mouth. This is how you spend your Friday evening, calling CPS, making a false report. Now you might be thinking, well, Sense, why is Denims, you know, the queen of Twitch, the thumbnail? Well, actually, I don't know if that's going to be the thumbnail, so I don't know how this is going to age, but a lot of people think she's the one that made the report, or she told someone to make the report. That's the theory. I don't want to slander anyone. I'm gonna put it out there. It's not 1,000% confirmed. I might not like Denims, but I don't want to slander her. I just like putting her in my thumbnails. Bad takes and Denims go together like peanut butter and jelly.
So he agreed to come visit.
God, she's just got such a fucking shit-eating grin. Like, she's just loving this down. Like, this is a downfall. This is like me watching her for having shit takes where I'm like eating up the downfall. Where it's, but this, see, when I'm shitting on these people, right? When I'm shitting on these people and it's like, yeah, dude, like, oh, well, Destiny's going to court for, leaking people's, like, without their consent, their photos or whatever. I'm watching the downfall. I'm having a good time about it. I'm eating that type of shit up, but like, it's not with somebody's kids, bro. There's a line that should be drawn. There's a line that should be drawn. You don't mess with somebody's kids. I'm sorry, dude. In like, you once you're a parent, you like get it. You get it. Like before I had kids, I was like, dude, who cares? Is like they're kids, whatever. Like, I don't like, but once you have a kid, there's just something that changes where you care so, like, they're the most important fucking thing in your life. There's nothing else more important. And to put them, it's worse that they're in this situation. It's not just that you're put in the bad situation, because you can deal with that. You can move on from that. But it's the worry about how this will affect your fucking child.
Our
Come back
house
next week.
when the kids are at home, because he needs to fucking interview our kids as a matter of procedure.
But I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
Dude, I fucking hate her, dude. I fucking hate, okay, I don't hate her. But the whole time through here, I'm going to pull my face out and we're going to go back a second. And watch her give this stupid fucking thought, dude. This stupid fucking thought is sitting here and she's optics checking herself. She doesn't give a fuck about any of this. She's gonna downplay it. But look right here. She just fucking, oh, well, make sure my hair is perfectly parted to show off my tits. Let me make sure that I look like I care. Oh, no. Dude, it's just fucking fake bullshit. You're such a fake goblin, dude.
I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not.
I only have one question here. Is this bitch retarded? Genuinely. What do you mean? I mean, I do believe Denims didn't start, becoming aware until she was in her 20s, but not everyone's like that. As for me...
Well, that's because she has zero brain function. So trying to get somebody like her to have any memories of what happened even last weekend while they were out being stupid as fuck, she can't, dude. She can't even make opinions for herself. She waits for her chat to make the opinions for her. She waits till Daddy Hassan says something. She's a low IQ individual. No, she sucks, dude. This is like a brain dead take, and that's the take. And this is why it's a simple downplaying of what happened. Because she knows that there was probably somebody in her shared fan base, one of her like crazy people in her fan base that are like absolutely they're captured in this parasocial relationship, and she doesn't want to upset them. She doesn't want to speak out against it, or she might have been this thing. I don't want to be disingenuous, but the fact that she's downplaying it in the moment is fucking disgusting.
Yes, I do remember memories when I was 3 years old, and they started getting really strong at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, of course. I mean, I have memories of playing with Dragon Ball Z action figures when I was like 3 years old, going to the beach and playing with Goku and, you know, all the gang. 3.5, I remember that. And of course, I remember when I was 5. I'm sure all of you guys have memories when you were 5 years old, right? I'm not the only one. I don't think I'm a fucking superhero or superhuman.
It's just the most fucking retarded take ever. Like, everybody has memories of that time period. It's factually wrong, because she will lie to downplay, to protect, or she will lie to make anybody she doesn't like look bad. I mean, these guys are all that way. They're all that way. They're disgustingly disingenuous.
And if I was 3.5 years old and CPS got called on my parents, I would definitely remember that. And that's scary, because they're like, oh, does your daddy hit you? Does your mom abuse you? Do they touch you inappropriately here? It's like, this can legitimately scar a kid for life. And it's like, once again, if you have a problem with Ethan for whatever reason, take it up with him. But why are we bringing the children into this?
You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
What? Is she a doctor? Is she a psychologist? How does she know this? According to who? Just because you're a dumb retard doesn't mean everyone is. Once again, I remember doing stuff and I was...
Right here. Look how fucking simple this is. I typed in, what age do you start making memories? 2.5. You retarded bitch. You disingenuous, disgusting monster. You're downplaying the effects this could have on his kids because you're so fucking stuck in your side that Ethan's the bad guy because he had the audacity to make a nuke on Hassan, that you are willing to like downplay what's happening to his kids right now when his kid's easily making memories.
Was 3 years old. I don't know, maybe I'm just some kind of superhuman. I was a super baby.
Yes, you will remember. So everyone in chat here has a collection, like 50 plus memories of when they were 3 years old. I only have a few memories from when I was 2, 3, and 4.
What his fingers smell like.
Talking to a random stranger once isn't really memorable for a kid.
Oh, dude, this isn't just talking to... I hate her chat. They're all... Hassan is an unstoppable force. Ethan is an immovable object. And ever will they collide. I can barely remember last week, chat. Fuck off. You're not going to remember some random dude asking you some questions a week later when you're 3 or 5. Dude.
No, I don't want AI overview. There's a wide variation about the mean across methods, cohorts. The average age of adults' earliest
dude. Literally, I pulled up a Google 2 seconds ago that said modern
memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3.
Nah, she needs to go. Legit.
Dude, she found it and it's like, oh, well, it's a spy v spy. I don't know what that means.
Question, Denims. Are you brain dead? Are you a little slow? I know you just started forming
Spy v Are we talking about the old Spy v Spy cartoon? Because that was fire.
memories at the young age of 24 years old, but not all of us are, you know, like you. Like, you're reading something that says 3.5. There's people in your chat telling you that they remember stuff when they were 2 years old. Another super baby there. You're just stupid. I mean, thanks for admitting it. See, this is why I don't take any of these clowns seriously. They're clueless. And now if...
Dude, all Denims is doing is waiting for the next cum falcon to land in her pussy. That's all she cares about. And, like... She doesn't want to actually make opinions for herself.
Because I found this...
She doesn't want to make any actual opinions for herself. She just says shit and waits for chat to reaffirm her opinions, or she'll look up something to reaffirm her opinions. I mean, I don't want to believe anything she Googles because she's going to use keywords to make it so that proves her right. Yeah, the old comic. It was a joke because it just one complaining about the other. Yeah, no, that's true.
Thanks for admitting it. See, this is why I don't take any of these clowns seriously. They're clueless. And now, if you want, we could start putting our conspiracy theories hats on, because I found this.
But the Spy v Spy comic is pretty fire. I remember reading some of it when I was a kid. But like, so there's a thing. Like, I get the one side complaining about the other. Like, I love that. That's where my usual drama lands, and I would usually don't get worked up that much. I'll like feign into aggression type thing where I'm like building up and I'm having fun with it. And I'm getting real energizing. This is gross. When you're messing with somebody's kids, it becomes something different. There's a reason why in every movie with the assassin, it's like no kids. I mean, even fucking Scarface knew that, dude. Scarface was selling drugs to everybody, but he's like, no kids. And he literally dies at the end of the movie because he wouldn't kill a senator in his car with his kid. That's like the line. There's a fucking line that is like universal morally. And the fact that we're downplaying that line because we're playing side v side, spy v spy bullshit is gross, dude. It's gross. And this is why I have no sympathy for any of these fucking people, because they're willing to downplay stuff like this.
Tweet, and it says, Denims denies having any role in CPS being called on Ethan and Hila's house. She says, I think it's very bizarre to try and blame me.
I will do everything that I can to hold any of these people to justice in any possible way that I can.
It's like Elon Musk using his kids to deflect bullets. Well, what does that even mean? Like, what are we talking about using his kids to deflect bullets? Like, I don't get that reference.
And that's what's gonna happen.
But if you're saying him utilize like bringing his kids places so that he looks like a good dad or whatever, so that he doesn't get asked hard questions, like he's deflecting hard questions because he got his kid there, that is completely different than calling fucking CPS on somebody you disagree with. Like, if that's the question. I mean, I'm not trying to like call you out in chat. I'm just saying that it is a widely different thing than being like, oh, I brought my kid. Even like when I criticized like the city council meeting where they had their kid and they had the kid reading off all this stuff and you could tell the kid didn't really know what he was talking about. They were just using the kid for optics. I think that's still kind of gross when you're using your kid for optics. It's not like, I don't consider it the most deplorable. I just think it's one of the most disgustingly manipulative things you can do because it's just stupid. But at the same time, that's not as bad as being like, I don't like this guy, so I'm just gonna like use some like random bullshit to call CPS on him and then scar the child. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Gonna be happening, and if you guys have any other clips of Denim saying that our kids, anything about our kids and the dog thing, I would love if you guys can compile that for me.
Okay.
Just in general, if there's anyone in the audience, because I don't want to miss anything. So if you know of any, or if you want to help us look, you can send it to us on Discord, Dan,
or throw it up on the Reddit.
I mean, if you throw it up on the Reddit or something.
Reddit, okay.
Yeah. It's probably
yeah.
the
Let us
easiest.
know, because I'd love to sue her for defamation, amongst other things.
I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone would care if Ethan sues Denims. As a matter of fact, if Ethan opens a GoFundMe,
I mean, if she's already being that disingenuous where she's downplaying the effects that this could have on his kids, there's going to be clips of her saying, like, this is something that, like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be getting into these waters, Denims. To be honest with you, this is advice for you. Even though I don't like you, I would just avoid talking about his kids. Leave it to internet crap. Leave it to between you guys on different beliefs and ideological differences, and just leave it at that and have fun with the little drama. But you start talking about his kids, somebody in your audience is going to latch onto it. One of the most crazy parts of your audience, we all have a crazy aspect of our audience. We all do. It just happens. It happens when you're a content creator. And when you get bigger, you start getting some people that you're like, whoa, that's a little crazy. It happens. But you have to know that, like, once you start bringing kids into it, that crazy aspect is going to bring actions that are going to put those kids in danger. You should always preface stuff. Like I've said it a million times. This type of stuff, the moment I turn my computer off, it's gone. It's out of my head. I don't care. The most it'll happen is if somebody asks me what I've been covering lately, I'll be like, oh yeah, Hassan or Ethan, or I'm watching Spawn lore. I'll do it in passing like that, but I'm not like living and breathing this every single day. I turn it off, I move on with my life. And I think everybody who watches me should take the exact same approach. This is internet drama. There is nothing more to it. It isn't groundbreaking. Nothing in the world's changing. It isn't some fucking thing to rally behind. You watch it, you have fun with it, you move on. Plain and fucking simple. You start swatting somebody's house. You start calling CPS on their kids. You are a disgusting fucking cum falcon piece of shit, and you are the monster. Plain and simple. You might think you're all valiant and shit because you're parasocial and you heard them say something about his kids one time, but you are a piece of shit. And I want everybody in my audience to know, every time I cover somebody, don't bother them. Don't go attack them. Don't fucking get all obsessed just because I cover somebody like Hassan quite a bit on my channel, because the dude's always saying crazy stuff. Well, what can I say? He's like him and like Candace Owens are like some of the most extreme people out there. Eventually I'll cover Candace Owens because that bitch has been saying some wild shit. Like she's on another planet of stupid. But I am sitting here thinking that I don't want anybody to go harass them. I don't want anybody to get to the point where they think that they need a rally to get them banned, because I, at the end of the day, think that you should have any free zone to say have free speech, but I don't want you to go have people in your, like, I want you to make it known to your audience always that don't harass these people. Don't take it upon yourself if they say something bad about, like, me or something, to go after them. I don't like it. I think it's disgusting, and I think it's dumb.
For me, I'll donate. It might not be a lot because I'm a small baby YouTuber, but I'll throw some money there. Someone needs to teach her a lesson, and Ethan got the money, and I'm sure the community will back it. I will throw in a pretty decent amount of money, and by decent, I mean probably like $20, but hey, it's something. Now, going back to the theory that Denims is the one that pretty much started all of this conversation regarding calling CPS. A few hours ago, this came out. The H3 subreddit found a March 1st unlisted VOD from Denims. In that VOD, numerous chatters were suggesting to call CPS on Ethan and Hila. Earlier today, Denims had denied her and her chat ever mentioning CPS.
Denim host this and see what she says, and then now we wonder why people are calling Child Protective Services.
But they called it before I even did this stream.
How do you know that? What facts do you have to know that?
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it.
Well, and this is all speculation from this guy. I don't even know who this guy is, but this is all speculation. Probably. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs. But like,
I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite that I had previously.
By the way, this is just wrong. His youngest baby never contracted Giardia. So when he said the thing about when he adopted his first child, she had Giardia, and then they got her treated for it, and they were worried because he had diarrhea, and they talked to a doctor. He never had Giardia.
Heard of in my life called Giardia from the
Giardia, whatever it's called.
Shit, that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
We already have Mold Mondays. Now we...
Yeah, the whole chat is saying call CPS over a rumor, over something that isn't even real, by the way. This is...
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that clip's from, how that guy has any association with Ethan Klein, if he has any association with Ethan Klein. It sounded like mad speculation, and that's the type of stuff where you say, like, dude, you got to take this with a grain of salt. But, yeah.
Getting out of control. This is disgusting, and if it is true that Denims, her fans, or any of these insane Twitch streamers are behind this, they should all be banned. Why would she lie about her chats never talking about CPS?
I accidentally clicked something else. Because she lies about everything. She lies about everything all the time, and people need to know that when they're watching this type of person. When they watch somebody that's this politically entrenched, they're lying to you. They're lying to you because they're only looking up things that prove their points. They don't want to be wrong, and ever. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong or anytime and somebody calls me out on it. I will do my own research and then I will find my answers. And it's so funny that people will come after me like, oh, well, you're just this or you're just that. It's like, I'm none of those fucking things. I made my own opinions. Wow, what a shocking thing on the internet where I didn't just leech onto another content creator and be like, oh yeah, dude, I echo all of his same opinions because I don't have a functioning brain of my own. You see it all of the fucking time. Now, I have a lot of gripes with Ethan. A ton of gripes with Ethan. The dude did the same thing Howard Stern did. He built this entire fucking industry. Not really industry, but he built his entire platform around being an incredibly edgy creator, all for freedom of speech. He literally got the fair use laws that we have, the ones that I'm using right now, he got them put in because he was so willing to fight for it. And then as soon as he got big enough, he starts wanting people banned. He starts wanting more censorship. And it's what he's doing is just grabbing that ladder that he used to climb to the top, yanking it away and throwing it out. I think that's fucking disgusting. And I hate people that do that. But does that mean that I'm going to go through every single fucking thing he said, try to find something that I can justify in my head for a reason to swat him or call CPS? No, because I'm not a fucking loser retard.
When it's very clearly here, like, if you're willing to lie about that, what else are you willing to lie about? And on top of that, why did you delete the VOD? I don't know. I'm not saying she did it 1,000%, but I think it's interesting.
Well, and the fact she deleted the VOD is because she knew that she was getting caught up in a lie, so she deleted it to hide evidence because she's a fucking pussy.
That she's lying about the smallest things, such as, oh, the chat and I never talked about calling CPS or CPS ever being mentioned.
I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine.
Just this whole thing, dude. This whole thing where she's trying to virtue signal about like his kid's living situation, which is only gonna, like, because she's reading her chat saying all this shit, she's then thinking, how can I make myself look so virtuous? And that all she cares about is how she looks in optically. I mean, there's a reason why she's always adjusting her hair and pushing her tits up and doing the over-exaggerated eye bullshit. It's because she's always worried about how she looks optically to be like this fucking virtuous piece of shit that she's trying to be. And she's utilizing what her chat's saying to then kind of stand on this little pedestal of virtue that she's living on.
And infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that he said, everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew.
Please do not take any of these insane clowns seriously. And I know that I sound like the biggest Ethan Klein defender out here. I really have no horse in this race. Leave the kids out of this. They have nothing to do with this, okay? There's another tweet that says, proof that the March 1st VOD was unlisted. And he shows this. All the other ones are up, except that one. I wonder why.
All right, so this is what we're going to do right now because I want to be 100%, I want to do the research right here. We're going to do the research right here. YouTuber H3, Ethan Klein, has responded to a lawsuit filed by a former employee against him and his wife, Hyla Klein. For context, on February 9th, images of illegal documents surfacing on social media platforms such as Reddit and X. It showed that the plaintiff's attorney Elizabeth Bora filed a lawsuit against Hila and Ethan on February 7th. The court document indicated the plaintiff had filed 16 complaints against the YouTuber. What are the 16 complaints? Violation of the Family Rights Act, disability and discrimination, retaliation violation, failure to provide reasonable accommodation, failure to engage in interactive process, failure to take reasonable steps to prevent discrimination, retaliation in violation of California paid sick leave, wrongful termination policy, failure to deprive meal and rest pay period, failure to pay overtime, failure to pay state and local minimum wage, failure to pay all wage due lab, failure to furnish wage statement, waiting time penalties, failure to provide personnel records, unfair compensation, or violation of the rules. During her employment, plaintiff suffered from a hernia, which the clients were aware. On June 18th, 2024, plaintiff learned that she would need surgery for the hernia. The very next day, June 19th, 2024, at 10 a.m., she notified Ms. Klein that she would be needing time off for her hernia surgery. Additionally, she told Ms. Klein that her doctor expected her to need a month to recover, but that if she felt better sooner, she would return sooner. On June 20th, plaintiff placed a call to Karen in TFI Human Resources Department as she was having a problem with her time card login. She notified Karen by voicemail on her date that she would be going out for surgery on July 29th, and that her doctor expected she would need a month to recuperate. Shortly thereafter, on June 20th, only 2 days after the plaintiff notified her employer that she needed time off for the hernia, called the plaintiff to notify her that her employment was being terminated and she did not need to return to the house. Days later, as Miss Bish attempted to have the plaintiff sign a relief, which the plaintiff declined to sign, plaintiff pressed for a reason for her termination. Miss Bish responded that her employer was going a different direction and referenced a problem she had with the client's nanny. The reason was pretextual. The defendants terminated the plaintiff because she requested time off for her hernia surgery. The plaintiff has exhausted her administrative remedies by filing a charge with and receiving a right to sue letter from the California Civil Rights Department. Nothing in there is about house situation. So what I'm seeing is this is all speculation. We have all the facts here. I went through the entire thing, all of the reasons. It all seems to stem from her getting fired, and honestly what she's doing, which is fair, is she was going to sue for wrongful termination, and she thought, what other lawsuits can I tack on to this to be the biggest payout possible to hopefully settle to a decent amount. It is a typical strategy. That is what she's doing. It has nothing to do with how disgusting her house is or whatever. This is fucking retarded. Like, the minimal amount of research I just took 2 seconds to actually Google this to fact check to see if this shit's right. I hate how fucking retarded people are to where they'll just eat up anything that somebody says without taking 2 seconds to Google it.
I found this tweet and it says, Ethan should 100% sue her into oblivion. You don't mess with people's children. You know what, Ethan? Said I was going to send $20. I'm going to double that. Open a GoFundMe and sue her.
$40. $40. This is going to change all the lawsuits' directions.
I will participate in this. I don't know how. My contribution might be small, but yeah, this bitch has to go. Pediatric nurse of almost a decade shares her thoughts on the CPS report. Now, who do I believe more? A actually qualified nurse or a loser Twitch streamer like Denims and a freak like Bad Empanada? Like, who do I trust more?
When I found out that people who just don't like Ethan Klein called Child Protective Services to report him, I found that we've reached a new level of disgusting internet behavior. And I would like to particularly comment on this post that Ethan posted on his IG story. You can pause to read it if you want. They're saying that they're a mandated reporter, and maybe they are. I can tell they're not an actual healthcare provider. Or maybe they're a teacher. I don't know what they are, but I'm an actual pediatric nurse.
Again, we have no verifications that this chick is an actual pediatric nurse. People say their shit all the time on the internet for clout, so we're taking this with a grain of salt, chat.
10 years. Every single pediatric healthcare personnel can understand the difference between abuse, which is what they're talking about. CPS is abuse. And understanding that kids who crawl around pick up a lot of shit. Kids who crawl on their hands and feet, and there's dogs in the house, get sick sometimes. When I tell you these kids come into the emergency room with bacteria you've never even heard of. And guess what we all...
This chick's mad cringe, by the way. I understand the point that we're getting at by having her in the video. I understand why she's there, but God, is she fucking annoying.
Understand. Children walk on the ground, put their hands on the ground, put their hands on toilet seats, put their hands on side rails, and then stick it in their mouth because they're 2 years old. Never would me or any of my friends hear this story about Ethan and think that that was abuse and report this as a mandated reporter. Do you understand kids come into the hospital because their parents said they reported them eating a bar of Dove deodorant? And you still don't...
Bro, I love the fact that she went and got the fucking Dove deodorant. You know this is what happened. She had this whole thing planned out in her head. I get it, I make content. But she put the deodorant right in reach so that she can use it as a prop. Bro, she went full Carrot Top energy. It's kind of hilarious.
Report that shit because you understand that 2-year-olds get into shit, lick the floor, lick the walls. I walked into a room once and a child was face down on the ground sucking the floor.
That's definitely what babies do. I have a baby and I have to stop her from eating fucking everything. Just everything. She's like, putting it in my mouth. You have to watch them like a fucking hawk because they just kind of grab everything and shove it right into their mouth. It's ridiculous.
With their mouth all the way open, they were face down sucking the floor because they're 2 years old and they don't know what the hell they're doing. Child Protective Services is historically overworked, underfunded, spread too thin, overwhelmed, and what you want to do is take a story that he told himself, mind you, spoke about how they're all being seen by doctors, right?
I'm going to skip the rest of her talking because I can't take it anymore. But, like, because she just sucks. She's kind of mad cringe, bro. I can't do her anymore. But, like, she makes some valid points.
I don't know. I trust Denims a lot more. Sorry. I think we need to stop spreading this narrative that Ethan is a deadbeat dad that's never around because he's making videos. Okay? That's a situation.
Well, the funny thing about making videos is you actually spend more time at home. Like, that's just, even if you have a studio, you go to the studio, you record for a couple hours, you go home and you get to hang out with your kids the rest of the day. You have a much lower, especially when you have the money to pay a team like Ethan does.
We have so far, I cannot imagine being a parent and going through this. I don't know, if I was Ethan, I would have a gun or two ready in case a hater show up. But yeah, I don't know, with that said, what do you guys think of the situation?
Well, he's in California, so standard ground laws aren't really great there.
And let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.
Dude, but there was one other thing I was gonna check out here. It's kind of I saw that Asmon covered this in a short clip. It's gone. Let's go Asmon clip. Asmon Gold clips. Right here.
Is this the Ethan thing?
So this is literally just a little more context. I'm gonna see if he goes into anything different that we don't have now, and I want to just see if all my bases are covered.
I remember somebody told me about this.
I think it's embarrassing for Hila here to be like, this is so traumatic for the kids. You're trying to traumatize the children. It's like...
So basically, these people collectively got together and called CPS on Ethan and Hila's kids.
For context, this is the same person we had to deal with before.
$30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear.
And now she's been...
Yep. Yeah, really great person. Really good person.
On a generational run of hating against Ethan Klein during almost every single stream of hers, to the point they literally had Child Protective Services called on H3H3's family. And as you might notice, she immediately deleted the VOD after this happened, and now she's trying to dismiss the event as nothing crazy.
Dog, you literally, the vast majority of people are, like, are not remembering anything that happened to them at 3.
Man.
Yeah, it's just fucking retarded. She's just a fucking absolute brainlet. She is a mental midget.
So it's okay to do anything to a 3-year-old because they won't remember it.
It's just sympathy, right? It's
Bro, that is a wild direction. He took it to like the far extreme, which is exactly what she would have done. But like this is like, oh, so it's okay to do anything? That's a wild thing to say. But like I've seen Denims use that same type of tactic. So
she's just
not saying it's okay. I mean, she's just being stupid, but that pulling that argument to that extreme is funny. I don't know why, it's just funny.
Like the IDF classic card.
The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force? What does this have to do with the IDF?
Like, please.
It's the Israel. It's the IDF. I think it's the Israel Defense Force. What does that have to do with any of this, though? I don't know why. What does that have to? I'm so confused why she'd bring up the IDF.
Just sympathy, right? It's just she's just pulling like the IDF classic card.
The IDF,
when does the IDF I don't know that that's like a common tactic. Sympathy on peace. I don't even know how to like fact check that because it's so profoundly stupid. I'm trying to do my due diligence to do what the opposite of what she does, but like I don't like what the fuck does the Israeli Defense Force have to do with this? Like I'm fucking broken. That is the most profoundly retarded thing I've ever heard.
Israeli Defense Force? What does this have to do with the IDF?
Like, please, my life is so difficult. Please, everyone that is against us needs fucking awful.
Wait, I just figured it out. It's because she's Jewish. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because she's Israeli, so we have to make it about race. I fucking forgot that she's that disgusting. I forgot we have liberal Candace Owens over here, dude. I forgot that if they're Jewish, you could turn everything into them bad because they're Jewish. I forgot that racism was okay again against certain groups.
Experiences because we're the ones dealing with the real awful experiences.
What? I don't even know what to say. The fuck were we watching? She was in the IDF? Yeah, she was in the IDF because every single person that was born and lives in Israel has to serve in the IDF, including women.
Hila did worse to Palestinian kids in the IDF. I mean, I'm sure she's thought about doing terrible things to people when she was in the IDF.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? See that? Okay, I was giving her way too much credit earlier on, and I'm so glad I fucking watched this. I am so fucking glad, because this is just more of her signaling to her audience that this is a disgusting person that deserved this. Fuck you. You are awful. What the fuck, dude?
I want you to understand that the reason why she's saying this is so she can dehumanize this woman that she's watching. Like,
fucking not even pre-watch. I clicked on this because I was going to cover this before I did the sensitive to society. So I did have this queued up. And then I thought, you know, I might not need extra context. Maybe sensitive society will cover all bases. The fact that he left this out, this is fucking nail in the coffin. This is adding context to that clip that we had that makes it 10 times worse, which is always funny because people are like, oh, we're pulling him out of context. And then you get the context and it's always fucking worse. This is blatant fucking racism.
Like Ethan's wife, and then make her an acceptable target for bad treatment.
Of procedure.
But I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3.
Create any bad memory for them.
Is this
You're
the
not
part-
forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Now, yes, you are. No, you're not. It's like 4 is the cutoff.
God, it's retarded.
But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories. Yes.
Okay, so then
Talking to a random stranger once isn't really memorable for a kid.
oh my god.
The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. you're not really forming memories at 3.
You just read it. That's an average also.
Pretty rare to be forming memories, or like memories that you will keep.
You see the goalpost moving? 50 memories and memories that you will keep.
Like I can remember maybe, I don't know, 5 things that happened to me, maybe.
Oh God, this is really.
I'm just gonna leave that on the screen. I'm gonna hold on. We're gonna hit play in a second. I'm just gonna leave something on the screen. We're gonna make it real small and nice so we can just get full context here. What a quick Google search can do for you. We're gonna put hit a play, and I'm gonna put this here.
And you can't even take care of your fucking kids. Why don't you tell your wife too? She should be taking care of your kids too, both of y'all. Instead, you're posted up complaining about how you got CPS called and they're investigating you, homie, and you're posting on Instagram? Oh, I hope his kids get taken away from him.
This is disgusting. This is so fucking, like, you got fucking weirdo in a car with way too much. I hate when people put way too much shit in their car. It's like the fucking, like, dangly things for the mirror. You should have, like, one necklace on the mirror, like 2 things at max. But if you have, like, a cabal of bullshit on your mirror, you're a fucking loser. But this is just fucking loser behavior. You're a fucking absolute fucking clown. I also don't understand why people don't, like, I get the shaved head thing, right? It looks pretty cool, but like I feel like at a certain point they're just trying to look fucking ugly because they have the hair sticking out of the side. It's like a point. I don't know. I'm not in on the joke. I'm not in on the fucking point that they're trying to prove with the stupid fucking like lame ass strand of hair.
Oh, I hope so.
And when you go, oh, well, you're making fun of their appearance. This motherfucker wants them to have their kids taken away over nothing because of ideological differences and random speculation on the internet.
He's so much better off. Fuck. And you can't even.
Who does this?
Oh, I hope his kids get taken away from him.
So they've already made up their mind. They're not calling CPS to investigate. They're calling CPS to do something in order to make this person's life worse. Ethan needs to lawyer up and sue these people. I hope he does. These are people who are
like, well, you're not gonna get jack shit out of this person. They can't even afford a fucking burrito at Taco Bell. I'm pretty sure. They look like they're fucking falling apart in life. So I don't really see the point in suing them, but suing Denims maybe.
Making false calls.
But it's also really, really hard to create a defamation lawsuit, especially over shit like this.
To real government places in order to execute an internet beef. This is disgusting behavior. And all of these people like Denim's downplaying this. Oh, that's not. Oh, but you're not getting memories at this age or whatever. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is so disgusting. Why would you talk like this? Why would you act like this? It's outrageous.
It's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. A small infant that has no immune system shouldn't be catching anything. No wonder this motherfucker is always sick. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, dude, I looked up and pulled up the actual court records of this lawsuit that she's talking about here, and the dude was just talking bullshit out of his ass, had no actual grounds to have any knowledge behind the actual lawsuit. The lawsuit is about the lady getting a hernia. I mean, we covered it. You've seen it a second ago. It's just so disingenuous that she didn't even do the minimal amount of research to find out what the lawsuit was actually about. Like, have the interest or the intrigue, have the actual functioning fucking brain matter to think, I wonder what the lawsuit's actually about. I'm gonna do a little investigation here instead of just being a little hate monger. It's fucking pathetic. Jesus.
It all makes sense. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening? How is this happening?
So I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I
Dude, like, oh my God. See how it just turns into, ideological. And the fucking wild thing about this is Ethan Klein is on, like, he is for the he feels the Palestinians' plight. He's talked about how he feels bad for the Palestinians. He wants solutions to be done. But you guys just hate him because he's Jewish. It's fucking blatant racism, but then you pretend that it's not. Oh, well, his wife was in the IDF, so obviously he's a monster. Like, everybody who's born in Israel has to be a part of the IDF. It's fucking retarded. This whole thing is the most disgusting thing I've seen in a very long time. I don't like... I've already didn't like Denims. This makes it worse because she's downplaying this. And to be honest, if you associate with these type of people and you think that these people aren't disgusting, you have fucking mental problems. That, or you're just so captured by misinformation and just so parasocial that you don't understand what's going on. Just because she's hot doesn't mean she's not lying to you. That's all I got for that one, guys. We're gonna move on. But thank you guys so much for watching, and like and subscribe. Anyway, boys and girls, we're gonna get into some fun stuff here. I want to get into some really, really, really cool stuff. I have, I got two things queued up. We're going to get into the gunslinger. A gunslinger spawn finds himself in the wrong century. Now, I did all of the spawn variants. On my lore dive. I am a simp for nerd, or for lore. I am a cuck for lore. I sit in the corner and just watch while lore goes down. I love lore, and I saw this gunslinger spawn, and I knew instantly I needed more information. I knew I needed more. I needed it bad. Give it to me, daddy. Let's get into it.
What's up, my comic comrades? Today we're returning to Todd McFarlane's Spawn spin-off titles with Gunslinger Spawn Issue 1. He is by far...
God, that looks so sick. Dude, I'm sorry, dude. Oh, we gotta go back a half second. Look at this. What the fuck? Get to my... Look at this, dude. Look how sick he is, bro. I know we're only 10 seconds in, but it's so sick. It's got so much badass vibes.
Gunslinger Spawn Issue 1. He is by far one of the coolest spawns McFarlane has created, and my second favorite spawn after Al Simmons, of course. But before we dive in, we want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for...
In terms of design, he's cooler than Al Simmons' spawn. Just in terms of design. Now, I don't know, in backstory, Al Simmons has an incredible backstory, so we'll see.
For sponsoring today's episode. Pop quiz hot shot, you're sitting there bored. I mean, not right now because you're watching this episode, so this is a hypothetical time in the near future. Anyway, you're sitting there bored and you have some time to kill. So click our link and we'll see.
Dude, I'm skipping the ad. You can go to his link. You can do Raid Shadow Legends, all that stuff. I just want to get it. I'm too excited to not get right into this.
See you there. But with that said, we've been waiting for Gunslinger to get his own title, so let's dive in and see what happens. The issue opens up with Gunslinger talking to Spawn in the woods. This is the same scene we saw in Spawn's universe, issue 1. But that's a whole nother thing, so read that issue if you want to know more details about that. But in short, they both escaped imprisonment together. Anyway, Gunslinger then turns to a patch where he's hidden his transportation, his motorcycle. A caption then says, he is in no mood to answer anyone's questions. He is still trying to figure out why he isn't in the year 1864, and how he got pulled into the future to this godforsaken place. His anger only grows when his two-wheeled contraption stops working. On the next page, we see a young man named Taylor.
Dude, so he was pulled from the 1800s. I thought this was all like in the West. This makes it even cooler. There is something that I love is just when they put gunslingers in like different centuries. I love when they put gunslingers. It's like this old West mentality, but you're just out here fucking taking on gangsters, fighting, like, and also like fantasy meets gunslinger. Oh, I love it so much. I wish there was more gunslingers in fantasy. I really do. Just a gunslinger pulled into fantasy is one of my favorite things. One day I want to make a video game. It's gonna be like probably a boomer shooter type thing, and I'll probably end up using easy FPS. But my idea is always going to be gunslinger gets pulled from the West into fantasy.
Whose boss tells him, remember to lock everything up when you leave. A little while later, while playing on his phone, his friends show up saying, we came to get you out of here. Epic party at Billy's tonight. When are you off? And Taylor decides that now is the perfect time, as we see him drive away in his friend's car. We are then taken back to Gunslinger, where the caption says, as Gunslinger gets to this town's edge, he reminds himself as he continues to push his bike that he never had to do this with a horse. We then get a few panels of Taylor hanging out and having a good time with his friends before ultimately they drop him back off at the gas station he works at. Captions tell us much later when they drop Taylor back at the gas station to wait for his dad, a sliver of light stabs from the storage shed. He thought he locked everything up, but when he sees a sliver of light from the shed, Taylor says, sweet mercy. We then see what Taylor found is the motorcycle of his...
Dude, He's like, oh, look at his motorcycle. And it's just fucking, he's got the double barrel, baby. He's looking down the double barrel of fucking death. The Doom Slayer, Spawn Slayer.
Screams, saying, where did you come from, baby? But on the next panel, we see Gunslinger pointing a gun at him saying, put your hands where I could see them. Do you understand me, boy? Gunslinger continues to say, you got a name, son? He replies, Taylor. Gunslinger then says, that's a first or last name? He says, first. My last name is Barlett. Gunslinger then gets in his face saying, then Taylor Barlett, I'm going to ask you a few questions. That okay with you? First, you know something about that contraption that won't work?
No, he's doing the voice wrong. First, you know something about that. Something about that contraption won't work. Oh, dude, I want you to know something. Do you know something about that contraption? Ooh, dude.
Spawns, your motorcycle? I'll take a look, but it seems fine to me. After looking at it, Taylor chuckles and says, dude, you're out of gas. Gunslinger then says, while lifting him up by his collar, don't mess with me, boy. What are you talking about? What's gas? It's actually really funny to see Gunslinger out of his element as he's from the 1800s, so he doesn't know what anything is in modern times. We're then
okay, but at the same time, but they used to use coal, so if he would have said it's like coal, he would have been like, where do we put the coal in this here portable train?
Taken to a private museum where we see angel factions talking amongst each other on how they're going to take down the hellspawn called Gunslinger. After this, we are brought back to the garage where Gunslinger says to Taylor, you're telling me if I figure out these gas station, tire, and highway things, I could keep traveling? Taylor says, absolutely, you've got enough horsepower in your bike. Gunslinger responds, I know the power of a horse. Taylor says, not that, I'm talking about a motor. Geez, you're worse than my dad, like some boomer with Alzheimer's. What's your deal? Gunslinger tells them, there is no deal. I'm from someplace else, just trying to figure my way back. Taylor says, I get that, but if you don't understand something, look it up. Google it. But obviously Gunslinger doesn't know what Google is, asking, what's a Google?
Bro, this is so fucking sick. I'm sorry. Dude's just like sitting there and he's like, what the fuck is a Google? What you mean Google? The fuck you getting at, boy? And he hands him a phone. He's like, what are you telling me? This just has the world of information in it? This is fucking wild.
Taylor then says, like your phone. You've got a phone, right? He tells him,
wait, can I look up titties on this thing? Yeah, you can look up titties. What about pussy? Yes, you can see dicks go into pussy. You boy, are you telling me Satan's in this phone? Can I jump through this phone and get Satan? No, you can't. But there's a game called Satan. It's published by DOSman Games. What the fuck is a DOS man?
What I've got is buried someplace. I need to get there. Twin Butts. Ever heard of the place? Taylor then tells him, you're kidding, right? You're here already. The huge sign wasn't big enough for you? Gunslinger just looks at him as Taylor realizes, oh, you can't read. How have you survived your whole life without? And Gunslinger then opens up his trench coat saying, this is how I survived. As we see all of his weapons inside.
I don't need to read. What am I, some fucking pussy ass bitch with my little gay glasses? Now fuck these glasses. I got guns and knives and intuition, my boy.
Side of his jacket. Gunslinger then takes off his hat saying, always got protection. Want to know why my hat's so tall? Got protection in there too, as he pulls out a huge knife. Continuing
this guy's fucking ridiculous. I love him.
Say, ain't my only knives. Wanna see? Taylor says, that's okay. Should I be scared now? Gunslinger then tells him, not if you're not one of them, but let's get back to my riding machine. Can you get it started for me? Taylor tells him, I told you I can, but if you want to go even faster, I've got some equipment in my dad's garage that could tune that puppy up a bit better. Gunslinger's like, perfect, we're riding to your house then. But Taylor says, wait, we can't do that. I'm not allowed home until my dad comes to get me and says it's okay, or he comes and picks me up. I don't have a car. Gunslinger then says, your pa don't like you home? That seems strange to you? At which point, Gunslinger is tackled by an angel. The angel then tells Spawn, I told them you wouldn't hide. You're too stupid to know any better. But you're gonna find out that God's warriors have evolved in the past 200 years, and you're half the man Al Simmons is. Captions then say both these statements may be—
dude, Spawn is the best. This is so fucking sick. Gunslinger Spawn is like at such a disadvantage, but he's gonna come out on top, dude. I just have so much faith in this fucking jabroni.
True, but Gunslinger doesn't give a damn. Like two trains colliding head on, the battle is a complete mess for both opponents. But in the midst of the constant barrage, the new Hellspawn, who a few weeks ago was living during the time of America's Great Civil War, finally sees an opening. But the Angel's quickness steals any chance of him getting the kill shot that Gunslinger is looking for. Instead, bullets hit more wing than warrior, which further enrages the Angel's bloodlust. To defile wings given to them by God is an act of blasphemy. Gunslinger knew that. He also knew it was his only chance to get his enemy to face him squarely, where he rarely misses a shot. As we see Gunslinger shoot the Angel straight through the forehead. The Angel—
oh, dude, he's like, I'm sending you down the rivers of Styx, boy. Boy. Oh, dude, this is a fucking sick Spawn. I love this. I love this guy. He's just so savage.
Drops dead as the innocent young man tries to process all of it. And on the next page, Taylor asks Gunslinger, "What are you doing? Isn't he already dead?" He replies, "He is, but you need to learn something. I want to teach you how to kill an angel, especially the dark-winged ones. There's only a couple of ways." As he shoots him in the chest, he begins to say, "You could shoot them in the chest all you want, but that won't do much good. That don't kill them. Only thing that stops them dead in their tracks is a good one right through the forehead." He also demonstrates that a knife to the forehead will also do the job.
Bro just wanted to fucking defile his forehead. Like, next he's gonna be like, or you can stick your dick right into his forehead. You ever skull fuck the whole of a dead man?
He says, "But you need special bullets to stop them. I'll show you that later." Gunslinger then looks at Taylor saying, "Want to give it a try?" But he responds, "I'll pass." At which point Gunslinger says, "Now let's get some gas, as you called it, and get you home." When they arrive at his house, Taylor says he doesn't like me coming home unannounced. And as Taylor walks inside of his house, he sees his dad having a meeting with angels. At which point his father spots him saying, "What are you doing? I told you never to come home until I get you. You idiot. Are you deaf?" The angels then grab Taylor saying, "We know he's your son, but we can't have any human knowing we're here." On the next page, Taylor's father responds saying, "I know," while Taylor screams, "Dad, help." But his father tells him, "I'm sorry, Taylor."
Fucking Eldad, what a piece of shit father. Dude, fuck these angels, fuck this dad, dude. I would just instantly start killing these angels to save my child.
"This is your fault. You've got no one else to blame but yourself." Taylor continues to say, "Please," as the angels take him outside to bury him. But Gunslinger, who's waiting for Taylor outside, isn't about to let this happen.
Dude,
so
fucking angel genocide. Fucking Gunslinger Spawn does not play with this bullshit, bro. He chews tobacco and eats ass, bro.
He jumps towards the angels and descends upon them savagely. And with that, the main story for issue 1 is over. But like I said, that's the main story. We have 3 short backup stories, if you will, that I'll briefly go over. The second story is called The Lynching, where we learn that a woman's 3 sons have been stolen by a wanted man. We also find out that Gunslinger is searching for the man who took this woman's children. And we later learn that he finds this man, and not only that, he kills his 3 sons, saying, "That's right, look at your sons' faces." What you're feeling is exactly what Mrs. Sutton will feel when she learns about her 3 boys, as he makes the man stare at his sons' bodies hanging from a tree.
Wait, did he kill them? Like, he actually killed the sons. What the fuck?
And who took this woman's children. And we later learn that he finds this man, and not only that, he kills his 3 sons, saying, "That's right, look at your sons' faces."
Oh, okay, so this guy, this fucking loser, killed this chick's 3 sons, so he goes and murders his 3 kids. Dude's a fucking savage. Dude's out here just, he don't play. He don't play. The West is a fucking crazy wild place, and he's like, "You sit on that horse, man, and watch me kill your boys."
Her feeling is exactly what Mrs. Sutton will feel when she learns about her 3 boys, as he makes the man stare at his sons' bodies hanging from a tree. It's a really cool short story that tells you that Gunslinger is all about an eye for an eye, serving out his form of justice. The next story is called Weapons, where we learn about Gunslinger's weapons, specifically that all of his weapons have been dipped or coated with his blood in order to kill angels. As the comic says,
dude, why the fuck hasn't Spawn done this? Spawn uses all his weapons, but no, dude, the Gunslinger Spawn is so much cooler. So much cooler, at least in terms of his weapon utilization and shit. Now, I haven't heard of Spawn coating his weapons in his blood yet. I just know he likes weapons because he was a mercenary. But, dude, just like, hold on. And then he's just dipping his fucking bullets in him, and he's just like putting them back in here. He's like, this is how they killed Tom Hanks in Philadelphia.
Each bullet he makes comes with the expense of drawing his own strength. And he was already one of the weakest spawns to ever walk Earth. Weakest or not, he's still one of the coolest and most badass. It's actually my favorite short story out of the 3. And the last one is called A Small Gift, where essentially we see a douchebag in a bar picking on a 12-year-old, which Gunslinger sees and isn't about to just let happen. So he says stoically, "Let go of the boy." Obviously this drunken douche doesn't want to listen, at which point Gunslinger shoots and kills him. Basically each of these backup stories just push the point of how much of a badass Gunslinger is, as well as giving us an explanation of how his weapons work and just some insight and feel for the character overall. But there you have it, friends, Gunslinger Spawn issue 1. I am digging this story thus far. Like I said, Gunslinger is my second favorite Spawn, so I'm glad he's finally got his own title, and I can't wait to keep reading this book. Let us know if you guys want us to keep...
Dude, this is fucking sick. I mean, it's a little campy. Obviously, it's a little campy. But, like, obviously, dude's a savage. He is, learning more about Gunslinger Spawn is going to be a mainstay on this channel. I can't wait to get more lore about him. I think, the idea of putting him not in the West and having, like, flashbacks to the West is such a cool way of, you get that Western motif, but also get to see how a Western outlaw would live in modern day. It's just this perfect balance, and I really mess with this guy. And I like that he's the weakest spawn, which makes him way more resourceful. He has to be more resourceful than all the other spawns because of his him being so much earlier on in the realm of like how powerful everything was going. I don't know, dude. It's sick. This is sick. W for fucking Gunslinger Spawn. That was awesome. This will be the last video I cover for the night, and then I'm gonna go to bed. But we got Ghost Rider versus Spawn, Marvel versus Image death battle. Now, I've heard these death battles are insanely good, and I've wanted to cover them for a long time since we are on the Spawn lore dump cycle of my channel, where I need all the lore of Spawn just shoved into my cheeks. Just get some good old lore in my mouth, right? Get all the good lore. I am ready for it. I am here for it, and I am so excited to see this death battle. I know they have similar powers. I grew up reading Ghost Rider, I grew up reading Spawn, and I want to see them fight each other.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn. The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson. Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer, heartbroken, and without
That's a good joke. Crash lived up to his name and got a fucking brain tumor like a little bitch.
enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could. The devil. Oh! To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto, king of the 8th layer of hell. Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after. But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath.
By the way, I actually liked the first Ghost Rider movie. I didn't like the second one. I didn't like the art style it went with, but I really liked the first one.
Zarathos, the Spirit of Vengeance. So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into Hellfire, an undead skeleton biker with a sick-ass hug, the 5th scariest Nick Cage performance, the stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil. Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken. Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider? Sure, we definitely didn't forget that we named the character the same thing only 5 years earlier.
Well, and what's funny is they end up utilizing the Ghost Rider Pale Rider as part of the mythos.
All you. The Ghost Rider was bad news for Earth's sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries. Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him. It's not just his body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an
Also, I think that they're missing, they might get to the point, but I think it is super crucial to mention the fact that during Planet Hulk, Ghost Rider ran into, the Hulk that fought in the arenas and shit, the one from Ragnarok. He meets that Hulk, and while Hulk's rampaging across the world, Doctor Strange is like, Johnny Blaze is a man who could beat the Hulk. Ghost Rider could easily beat the Hulk because his power is limitless. But he doesn't care to because he's not a demon. It is not a part of his agenda. He is just riding through. He's going to get to the point where he can get past the Hulk and move on with his life. He does not want to defeat him. And it is a badass battle, and Ghost Rider just kind of moves on. He fights him for a while and then blows up the whole city and dips.
infinite stream of chains, a shotgun packed with fiery rounds, or a flaming missile barbed right out of his mouth. Life goals. And he can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as his Hell Cycle. Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds. Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his boner, Wiz. Get it? And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look? The Penance Stare.
The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others.
Which we've learned from the Spawn Lord Ives that he has something similar to the Penance Stare as well.
Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment.
Obliterating your soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions.
Yeah, dude, because the Punisher is fucking savage, and everything he does is just kill villains. Yeah, he's awesome. He doesn't regret anything. The Punisher is fucking based, and that's the reason he wins.
But it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is two souls in one body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Ah, classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Yep. That is kind of what was happening in the Hulk fight, because Johnny has no, the demon had no reason to fight the Hulk. Johnny was fighting it because it was the right thing to do, and at a certain point he was going to move on.
His strength is boundless. He can open up portals between...
When he said boundless, that was from the comic book I'm talking about.
...dimensions, control the elements, penance stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled some of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange.
World War Hulk was what I was talking about.
Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly Black Ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos...
Bro, they didn't use, the CIA didn't put a crack into the ghettos. It was Ghost Rider. It was Ghost Rider who put the boys on the track, and Clinton covered it up. It was all Ghost Rider. It was never the CIA.
Those an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan punching bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon. Fitting as his fight with Galactus rents the cosmos asunder.
And Galactus's fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld.
Dude, this is so sick, bro. Because I already went in knowing a lot of this, knowing how powerful Ghost Rider is. Because I used to read Ghost Rider, and I used to love how gritty and violent it was. And he's just like one of the coolest, well-designed characters of all time. He's like just a flaming skull with a leather jacket, chains wrapped around it. Everything's sick, but he's just so overpowered. But it's the only thing that keeps him at bay and doesn't have him just breaking everything is the fact that he has two souls fighting with each other. That is, it's just like. It's like when you get an erection because you see a chick that is like, oh wow, she's pretty hot. But you know that you're like, I'm married, I can't have boners for women anymore. So you're telling those animal instincts, shut the fuck up, bow the fuck down, go home and fuck your wife. And that's what you have to do because that's the right thing to do. You can't let those demons win, buddy.
took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of Hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
As they sure as hell won't find any in his.
Dude, I remember when I watched the Ghost Rider movie and just the special effects were the coolest fucking thing ever. When that first trailer dropped, I knew I had to see that movie, and I love the Ghost Rider movie. I know it's not a great movie by any means, but it just has so much coolness about it. It dumps the shark by about halfway through, and it becomes kind of cringe. A lot of the screaming is annoying, but God, there's some great scenes from that movie, and I've wanted just another great Ghost Rider IP ever since. And I think if they're going to do Ghost Rider, the biggest mistake that they made is like, and I think that Marvel's still kind of making those. We did see Deadpool, though it was rated R, is they need to make just a dark, gritty, violent, serious Ghost Rider. Don't have any quippy MCU bullshit in it, just a violent, brutal movie with some horror vibes to it. Make the Ghost Rider fucking awesome. That's it. That's all I want.
This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
If you want Robin Hood Gold, go jump on their shit.
If Al Simmons was one thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army and the CIA's most decorated assassin, Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell,
where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th circle of hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn.
That was I've talked about in the past some of the problems I have with the Spawn movie. One is they race swapped his best friend to a white dude. Two is they fucking Malvosia looked fucking stupid. Any scene with Malvosia in the original Spawn movie is the worst scenes in the movie.
A superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's blood.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself, Spawn.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge wizard and despair.
Well, that's kind of like how Ghost Rider is. He's a very like edgy 90s comic. I think he came out like in the 70s, but like, dude, he had like just he was always edgy. He was an edge Kino motherfucker. I don't even know what Kino means, but I hear it all the time. The dude's a fucking savage. Spawn is one of the greatest comics ever written. I'm sorry. He is so cool. It just like took all the cool shit that McFarlane learned from DC and Marvel, combined it into one character, utilizing like kind of the love of the Punisher growing. Oh, it's perfect. It's just boner inducing, bro.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can manipulate
matter. Dude, I didn't know that. They said he was really fast in one of the other things, but he's literally the Flash. I love that Todd McFarlane just like wakes up one day, he's like, new power unlocked. Spawn has 8 penises. He drives a Ford Ranger and it blows all the smoke. And then he fixes the environment because he has all the powers.
Shape-shifting his own body or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malebolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself...
white.
Yeah.
He can only be white. He's like, I miss my beautiful black skin. And then he just wakes up, he's like, no, I'm fucking white. God damn it. No more past for me, bro. I was living in the great zone of comedy. I had like, I was out there like Eddie Murphy, fucking not Robin Williams, dude. Fucking Jesus Christ, dude. I was out there like Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart. I was a legend, bro. Richard Pryor could only wish he was me, and now I have zero ability to use the past. He's probably all angry and doing George Carlin comedy now.
It's petty trolling like that gets you a throne in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories.
And he actually can, like, he isn't just turning into a white guy. He actually turned into his best friend and then fucked his wife. Like, he was like, I'm just gonna get it one more time. I'm gonna slide in that pussy one more time and just get you pregnant again.
Or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong. Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers instantly, cleansing them of their evil.
Bro, he just went full Jesus. Spawn can do everything, dude. It's honestly unfair to put anybody in Spawn.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your...
Nice boobies. We got nice booby drop. We got some booby drop. That's what my eyes do. Every time they see nice boobies, they pull out of my skull. It's really hard. I have to wear like protective contacts, so when I see a nice rack, I don't just turn and my eyes shoot out of my head.
Your whole life.
Like some sort of penance.
Though Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got unlimited amount of the stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden.
Dude, that's fucking sick. I didn't know that, bro. Oh, that's so fucking fire.
Literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7 Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helps Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hell spawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own... how do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn...
Yeah, dude, Spawn is mad fucking retarded at times, dude. He's like, oh no, the Violator doesn't have his powers. Finally, I can kill him. But, oh, well, Violator's brothers are here. We'll give him his power back. Spawn's always doing stupid shit.
But this angel lady, Angela, great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed. Until he reconfigured reality to undo his own inexistence.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first time.
Dude, just McFarlane's writing sometimes is the most fucking moronic, retarded shit. He's just like, well, we got this weapon. We might as well have him use it on himself. Oh, the main villain of Spawn doesn't have his powers anymore? Well, Spawn will just give him his powers back. Why? I said so. I fucking said so. Everything's because I said so. Todd McFarlane decided it so it exists.
We've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malvosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that had killed all of humanity.
Because the reason Malvosia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was...
Basically, they're like, because you can't think for yourself, you will be the perfect thing for this. And he's just so stupid.
Nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched down to Hell and ripped Malvosia's head off. With a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality, Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of Hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of Hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between Heaven and Hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created...
I just fucking loved it. Spawn just is like, listen, I'm gonna end the war on Heaven and Hell. How are you gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna take God and I'm gonna take Satan. I'm gonna put them on Earth where they can just fuck each other to the end of time, but also it might destroy the Earth. But that's no problem because I'll just fucking recreate the Earth. It's no big deal for me.
Created this God and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the Tree of Life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight.
So fucking ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I fucking love that he just like, you guys can, I'm gonna put you in this box where you can have all the gay sex you possibly could ever want. And then I'm gonna blow up the Earth and rebuild it. No big deal. No big deal. Typical Tuesday for old Spawny boy.
Of Heaven and Hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human, but he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can hastily brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
Technically a multiversal being, yeah, absolutely. He's I love Spawn, and I love the over-the-top nature of him just being this ultimate multiversal being, like you're saying, like you said in chat, just this ultimate fucking existence being. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. There's no way. I think Ghost Rider is incredibly powerful, and I went into this knowing Ghost Rider was incredibly powerful, but then I forget that Todd McFarlane just kind of like pulls a taint hair out, that he has an ingrown taint hair, he just pulls it out. He's like, Spawn no longer has taint hairs, and that it just, whatever he decides, he'll read a cool comic book, Spawn needs that power too. Oh, Stretchy, well, his cape's stretchy. Oh, well, Super God Jehovah Witness powers, we're giving him Super God Jehovah Witness powers.
This battle is sponsored by DraftKings Casino.
If the slots are spinning, you could... hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends March 16th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
We're about to get into a real battle, guys. I don't know if you guys are here and your nipples are hard, but my nipples are so hard, dude. I'm surprised my shirt isn't torn into shreds. There's an anime called, like, Freezing, where every time they fight, they just rip their clothes off. That's exactly what's happening to me right now.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for one hell of a death battle!
I don't even know if this is going to be a battle. This is literally going to be fucking 1 second of fighting and then Spawn just dragging his nutsack over Ghost Rider's blown out head. He's just going to be teabagging him into oblivion.
Nights like these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me
Oh, dude, it's so savage. This is so 90s. I love this.
If you care, it's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
sloppy. You fight like a bum.
You're a little pussy, Ghost Rider. You think you have hell flame? Well, even if you kill me, I'll respawn and then turn you into put you into the gangbang circle with God and Jesus.
You've earned your damnation.
Wait. Oh, dude, this is so amazing. Of course they pulled the semi-truck in here to turn it into, like, the fucking Gigatrad truck. Oh my god, they said the get over here thing like it's fucking Mortal Kombat because of the chains. This is amazing. Dude, Optimus Prime tried to take him out. I know, dude, more like Optimus. I don't have anything. Optimus Gay Boy lame ass.
Of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
Oh, that was so gay. Dude, you can't disguise your wickedness. He is holy energy now. He is all of Ghost Rider's weakness in one being. Ghost Rider just fucking lost. What, like, he's using holy energy. Ghost Rider just got fucking taint wagoned into existence. He's now the bussy queef machine. Oh, come on. Come on, we're not ripping his angel wings off when he was using fucking god energy, Ghost Rider's weakness. Come on now.
Al Simmons, your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul. I eat sin for breakfast. Taste of your own goddamn medicine.
Dude, he's like, you suck upon my wiener. I have a petted stare too, you fucking cuck.
Live, here's the Prince of Live. Wait.
Remember in 3rd grade when your pastor took you in the back room and felt your butthole?
It's like you said, nothing personal, asshole.
We all knew that was gonna happen. Come on, guys. We knew it was gonna happen as soon as he put the devil or the angel wings on, because like he's literally the embodiment of Ghost Rider's only weakness. And there's the thing about Marvel comics where they actually put weaknesses in and they try to stick to them. And McFarlane doesn't give an absolute living shit about that. He wants them to be so fucking overpowered that nothing can touch him.
God damn! Literally.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he knew that there was going to be a Superman Spawn collab, and Spawn's left nutsack would just happen to be, his left ball was just a ball of Kryptonian, and when he jizzed, he killed Superman. That's the type of thoughts that McFarlane has.
This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill.
It was never a nail-biter. It was fucking always Spawn gonna rub his dick on Ghost Rider's forehead.
Versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember, his power can match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for a stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage in this category.
Though with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare.
Yeah, they're just sitting, they're standing around there. You got chicks slapping their clits, spraying him with pussy juice. You got guys sitting there just bukkake his head 24/7's on top of his soul. Ghost Rider's little sad boy looking glass was not gonna hurt him. On top of that, like, we're forgetting that Ghost Rider's main weakness is holy weapons, and they really never showed that he could survive those. But Spawn got killed with a holy weapon, and he was like, you know, never mind, we're changing moods. He can survive everything.
Just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least Johnny and Zarathos could.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The Damnation Stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable, a massive power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him, and was too unkillable for Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the long run against his crazier abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Dude, I don't think there's anything that can kill Spawn. Let's be honest. Dude, McFarlane would wake up tomorrow and be like, I decided that nothing can kill Spawn. And they're like, what do you mean? Oh, no, there's nothing. He's impossible to kill. He's the greatest hero of all time. There's nobody who can touch him. If Spawn turned into this reality, not even I could kill him because I wrote it into the comic book that his rider can't kill him. So he's unstoppable. There is no weaknesses. You can't break the fourth wall. You can't send in the ultimate tactic of anything. It's fucking he's ultimate Giga Schmoodle Power Man. Like, Spawn is so broken. So freaking broken. They're like, he could take on like all the stuff that's going on in Warhammer. He could literally go in there and be like, no Warhammer. Done. It's fucking over, Chief. You had a good run. Yeah, you gained too close to the sun. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. And with that, I think I'm gonna end the stream now. I thank you so much for popping in the chat. Make sure to subscribe, guys. I will be doing way more lore dives, and I mix in some topical stuff here and there, and I always try to have fun with whatever I'm doing. So, love ya, and I'll catch you on the next one.